Amelia from St. Thomas Public Library, and I am here with Jolie today. And we are at Tastemaker Studio, located at 624 Talbot Street. As you can see, we're in this cool shop that is located in the front of the studio. And Jolie, do you want to tell me what else is here at Tastemakers?
Yeah. So, I mean, in the front, you'll see an array of things that I've curated, food that I love to eat while I'm making art in the back in my studio. I also happen to sell the blanks that I work on. And we also, it's like a kind of a multi-use space. We also have like a photography studio in the back. I mean, I'm very food and art motivated. So that is the crux of this business.
Nice. Yeah. That's lovely. And as I understand, you are an avid reader.
Oh, yes.
So I wondered if you can tell me what book you are currently reading.
Currently, I'm reading 100 Boyfriends. It's actually a book I picked up at the library a couple weeks ago. It's by Brontes Purnell. I think I'm pronouncing his first name at least correctly. It's just kind of like an anthology and sort of like rantings about the different men he's dated, and it's 100 of them. I've gotten through about 50, and it's definitely interesting. It's just the type of book that I like to read. It's like all books are like candy. It doesn't matter how dry they are, but this one specifically is great. He just is such a great writer. He's so quick-witted. He has a way with words, and it's not like nothing that I've ever read before.
Interesting. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
We will link to that book so that you can check it out. But
not just yet, because I have it.
You can place a hold. And I also wondered, like, what kind of books do you generally like to read?
I generally like to read historical textbooks. Nice. Yeah, and also comics. So I am an avid graphic, if it's comics or comics adjacent or anything like that, I'm into it and I'm reading it. I'm part of the Detroit Graphic Novel Club, and we always try to read something current, or like the idea is that each one of us gets a pick. And for Halloween, we try to read something spooky. Personally, I chose The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Yeah. The author of the current that specific series of Sabrina is also like the showrunner for the Netflix series. Oh, okay. And I just needed everybody to read it. It's like I grew up reading Archie. It's like no Archie I read before. Yeah. But our group is getting more into manga, and everyone talks about anime all the time. But that Junji Ito book is frightening. Yes. His work is so scary. I've read a lot of it. Yeah. It's really original. And it's just like, I don't know what it is about Asian horror, but they're just the use of different, just the iconography of like the spiral, and how absolutely drenched in terror you can make a book, but just based on the ideas of spirals. Yeah. I can't. And it's such a good book. Yeah. He tends to take everyday things and just makes them monstrous. So it's really original. And he blends it with actual current horror, things that would actually scare you, which is even more terrifying. Yes. So it's like, not only is it mostly mundane, sort of slice of life things that these characters are going through in Japan, but it's like, there's also horrifying monsters and death. It's crazy. Yeah. Very good. And I wondered, do you have a favorite book that you would recommend to everyone? That I would recommend to everybody. Okay. I actually brought it too. This is my reading copy of Watchmen. It's by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. It is what some would say is like the definitive superhero graphic novel story. Kind of like in the same vein as when they did Marvels, where it showed you a different side of like superheroics in the comics. This is ultra real. Yeah. it's like the absolute far side of what superheroes could be. Like, it's sort of like in the vein of The Boys, but less despicable.
Right.
These people, it shows the humans underneath the masks.
Right.
Not everybody's fallible. Everybody is, everybody has the capacity to entertain or be evil, but they also, it also is kind of like, but they choose good because they are a group of superheroes.
Right.
They just have to navigate the world with each other.
Yeah.
And one of them ends up being like a rapist and a murderer. So yeah. It's just, Alan Moore is just such a great writer.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like nothing I'd ever read. Until I think I jumped right in. Someone had suggested this book to me, but they're like, no, you really have to kind of start at this point in comics history.
Oh, interesting.
And kind of work up to it. Okay. But I secretly just picked it up and read it.
I'm very tempted to just jump right into this book.
Sure. Yeah. At your stage in the game, I would definitely do it.
Yes. Because it is a classic, and I have just personally never read it, but I know that it's one of the canon kind of that you should read if you read novels.
And a lot of people, a lot of new readers, a lot of new generations kind of dismiss Watchmen as like if you're like over the age of 30, you're always going to say Watchmen the definitive book. And it's like, well, it's because it is, but you have to understand what comics were like when this was released in the 80s.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 84 or 85, but it was released in the 80s.
Yes.
In a time where comics were like, you had Amazing Spider-Man, like, Pete, his only trouble was like, who is the Hobgoblin?
Right.
And do I pick Mary Jane or do I pick Felicia, like the Black Cat? Like that was the drama that a superhero was going through. And this is like the comedian. He's seen war, the Vietnam War specifically. And you know, he participated in like really terrible criminal things as a war vet.
Yes.
But then you also get the fantastical element of like Mr. Manhattan being kind of the super ultra powered hero in the book. And it brings a fantasy back.
Yeah.
To like a human level.
But it adds more dimension.
Yeah.
To these characters that were somewhat flat up until. Yeah. And they probably created a lot of our current, like you said, The Boys and things like that.
Yeah.
Where the most fascinating part of it is the humanity of these, like, super talented people.
Yeah, and a lot of authors, Tom King right now is writing, like, some fantastic superhero books. The Vision is probably one of my favorite books outside of Watchmen. And it's because it takes the superhero genre and it injects a humanity in it that makes it more relatable to the reader.
Right.
When there should be nothing relatable between me and a robot. Like a robotic android man.
Yeah.
But, hey, there is.
There is. And that one's Tom King, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, also murder. Somehow there's like an undercurrent of murder in all these books.
Yeah, but it's like our popular culture, like Dexter and all these like sympathetic villains too.
Yeah.
Probably all kind of comes out of this.
Yeah, because when you stretch characters to a point, I would say that point for someone who is normally considered good, murder is the line. So I like to see how different authors kind of like pit their protagonists up against like that line. How do they navigate their lives as this type of a person? Yeah. I'm speaking specifically about The Vision now, like after they've witnessed or are a party to murder. Like it's totally awesome. Plus, like our culture now is so obsessed with murder and crime.
Yep. True crime and any kind of, it's that line that you're right. It's you step across that line and then what happens over there, right? Like, we're on this side. And
it's always great I like to use the name Nancy Drew as a verb. But it's like it's good to Nancy Drew it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good to be curious. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I agree. We definitely have The Watchmen in our collection.
Yes.
And what did you think of the movie?
Zack Snyder does a very good job at being faithful, almost frame by frame, to the book itself. But he's missing the actual subtext of the book, and so the visuals are there. The artistic direction is always gorgeous and brilliant. The cinematography is always well done. All of the filmic aspects are great, but he's missing the story. He's missing the heart that beats behind it.
Right.
And then there's like all throughout, there's another sort of story that's written kind of parallel to what's happening, and you're meant as the reader to make comparisons to the two, and that is completely missing from the movie. And the whole idea that these, I would say, he's still kind of romanticized the superhero genre a little bit, for my taste.
Yeah,
I still think it was an okay movie. The entire ending is different, which actually clears up the ending in the book a little bit better.
Interesting. So it's good to do both.
Yeah.
But as we know, the book always has more.
Yeah. I feel like if they had done like a series, it would have been a little more faithful, or it would have come across much different.
Yes.
Yeah. It would have been in service of the actual source material instead.
Interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, who knows? That might be in the running, because they like to recycle.
Oh yeah.
Now, so well, that is a very great analysis of the Watchmen, and I'm going to read it now.
I hope so.
And I hope everybody does.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for showing us Tastemaker Studio.
You're welcome.
And please come and visit downtown St. Thomas, and it has really unique gifts. I can already see things that my family would love to get for Christmas. So,
and depending on when this is released, we have some new things coming in February of 2022 inside the shop. It's still going to be an art studio. It's still going to be a snack shop, but it'll also be like I've been letting the cat slowly out of the bag, but it'll also be a full-fledged comic book store, which has always been my dream.
We'll have to come Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Sitting down with me today and talking about books, because that's our thing. So.
Yeah, I love that the library is out.
Yes.
Everyone should go there.
Everyone.
I use it weekly. Go to the library.
Awesome.